Yo, what is going on, guys? Inzem here, and it's finally time for me to show you guys my final DBFZ tier list. I say final because not only is this the final tier list I'm making for this game, I'm pretty sure this is going to be one of the final tier lists of this game in general because this is the last patch of the game. I know we've said that a lot of times before, but this time I'm like 99.9% sure it is the case because even before we got this patch, the information they gave us kind of hinted at this being the last patch as well. They said something along the lines of they felt like they did everything they wanted to do with the game. So that's kind of, in my opinion, that was just them just saying, hey, this is probably going to be the last one. But yeah, before we get into this, I also do want to preface this by saying characters are insanely strong in this game. Like, the average character power level is so ridiculously high. It is one of the most insane things I've seen in this game. For example, even some of the worst, or the worst character in the game, as you guys can see, it's definitely that bottom row. If you were to put them in like season 3 or season 2, they would be top tier. Like kind of omega top tier. There's a case to be made that like some of these characters, like maybe Kid Buu would be like top 1, like legit, just straight up. So while the tiers definitely do matter, and obviously the characters on top are going to be stronger than the ones on bottom, if you feel like you want to play any of these characters, don't feel like you're held back by just this tier list. Especially if your goal isn't to literally get top 1 at a super major. You could definitely build top tier teams with any of these characters, or at the very least a high tier team, like at worst. So yeah, this video might be a little long, so grab your popcorn, grab your snacks, grab whatever beverage of choice, because we might be here for a while. Okay, so let's start from going bottom to top. So the worst character in the game, IMO, is base Goku. He has a lot of good stuff going for him in theory, and in a different world, he actually could have been a top tier. He has things like a really strong assist, like lockdown hits both sides. He has one of the best level 3s in the game, if not the best level 3, like super high damage, like top 3 most damaging level 3s in the game. We're also giving him a mix-up and like a spark bait built into the mix-up, which is honestly the best thing you can ask for. He has things like really high support value because he has safe supers. His level 1 is safe, so you can like just choose to get your point character out for free, which is nice. So what's wrong? Despite having all of this, the biggest issue this character has is, in my opinion, two main things. One, his normals are really bad. Like they are really bad. In a game with characters that have normals that go half screen on average and full screen if you're broken, to have a normal, to have his furthest reaching normal not even go as far as some characters' lights is really bad. Like, for reference, they never changed his normal since season 2. Like, these basically neutral wise the same character for the most part, which is really not good at all because that means he cannot keep up with the meta, like the way the game is played right now. Outside of that, I would say the only other issue he has is damage inconsistencies, as in like his combos are hard to do, but they're not doing an insane amount of damage for how difficult they are on average. And his primary way of opening you up, which is his command throw, does not really do that much damage. Like, you can't really 2-touch, you can't really even 3-touch off of it. But and then in comparison, you have characters like Blue Goku who can 2-touch off his command throw from 0 bars, which is, we'll get to him later. But yeah, base Goku is definitely struggling. But if you do want to play him, he does have like some of the best support value in the game, in my opinion, still. So he has that going for him. The next character is Yamcha. Admittedly, I'm not too sure what Yamcha, like, I know majority of the new stuff he has, but he could also be extremely underexplored. So take this opinion with a grain of salt. He's one of the maybe characters for me. I think he has some really good stuff going for him. He has a jump scare EX move. Like, yes, he definitely just dies on whiff, but like, don't whiff it or use an assist. He has still one of the best assists in the game. Like, some people still do not think Yamcha A is like Omega S tier assist, which is insane to me. That assist is still broken. He has invul on his normals, which has some interesting, he has some unique things he can do with that, but overall, I'd say this character's issue is still the same as it was in his neutral control. Some people would think it's damage, which is not true, actually. Like, this character hits, like, really hard, especially if he's in the corner. But his neutral control is pretty linear, I would say. It's kind of... Your character either has no way to deal with him, or they just body him completely. And usually, especially in today's game, most characters just do have a way to deal with what he likes to do. Like, obviously, he can kind of just send it and do his lariat, but yeah, I think because of that, he definitely struggles. The next character is Kid Buu, How the Mighty Have Fallen. This character does still have potential. I actually think if you play him with some of his stronger synergies, you can really see how strong he actually is. But yeah, Kid Buu's still basically the same character. Like, his mix-up is still some of the best mix-up in the game, but there's an asterisk on that now. The reason I think he's actually so low is because of two main reasons. One, his neutral is very linear. It's very like the Yamcha situation. You either can deal with it or you can't. He used to be able to dominate spaces that other characters couldn't. Like, he could challenge you from his like max range 1M range. Like, that used to be something only unique to him, and kind of everyone's doing that now. So that actually really hurts him. But realistically, he's a little body, so little bodies probably shouldn't have even been doing that in the first place. But hey, the reliable Kid Buu, right? But yeah, his neutral is definitely really struggling. It's really hard for this character to get anything started against the upper echelon of characters. But the main issue, because again, his neutral has not always been the best. Like, that's kind of always been a thing. But the thing that is really not making him that strong of a character, in my opinion, is the fact that his mix-ups they have very easy answers to them now because of Guard Cancel Vanish. Like, when they added Guard Cancel Vanish, it kind of really hurt him bad. Like, his utility and his A assist went down a lot because that's just universal counterplay to it now, which is a lot harder for the person executing the mix-up to call out, because there's ways to check it, but having more options to look for will always make a situation harder. And more importantly, the mix-ups that he is able to do is not really unique to him anymore. They gave a lot of the other characters ways to access mix-ups that was kind of exclusive to him or just a small group of characters, and you know, when everyone's super, no one's super, right? So that's he's kind of I feel like he kind of got the bad end of the stick in that regard, and I think he just did not age well. So the next character is Bardock. What is good about this character? Because I do want to say what I believe is good about each of these characters, because I genuinely think you can make any of these characters work. Like, sometimes you even see me playing Bardock on stream and I'm cooking. Like, he can definitely hang, but he has issues. The good thing about the character, though, is one, his pressure is kind of insane. Not even kind of insane. He has some of the most insane pressure in the game. His 5L is medium block stun, which lets him kind of just press it and react. He has basically every normal save. His Ki Blast is like -1, I believe, and he can actually space it out to be +1, which is pretty unheard of. I think he's the only character in the game that can do that. They sped up his Gut Punch to 20 frames, so it's like you're kind of, when Bardock is on you, you're kind of there for a long time. I actually think in an offline environment he gets a lot better because of this, but yeah, like, his pressure is really insane. If you cannot deal with his lariats, like if you do not have a character that has a way to put like some sort of active projectile on the screen, or just turn the screen to bullet hell, you will lose neutral to this character. He's legit like one of the best characters in the game at getting in straight up. Like, he still has the fastest lariat in the game. But that's kind of where the good things about the character ends. While his neutral is actually still good, in my opinion, it's very reliant on assist and a good matchup, because, again, like I said, if you have a character that has a way to stop him, then it definitely gets rough. He also has a mix-up issue. They tried to fix it a little bit with his EX overhead, but I actually think that didn't really help at all, honestly. But he really struggles to mix you. Like you have to get really creative or just play like lockdown assist and like just hit custom mix-ups. And even when he does get the hit, his damage output is not that high. It is below average. So because of these two reasons, he kind of struggles to get in some of these matchups. The characters who are going to keep him out. When he does get in, his pressure is really, really good. But if they don't crack, he can't really open them up. And even when he does, he might not two-touch. So that is why I believe he is in the worst tiers in the game. These characters, all of them, this is why I believe they are the lowest tier of the game. Alright, Broly. Where do we start with you? This character still has really high support value. A assist is still one of the best assists in the game, in my opinion. His supers are really good. His level 1 does 820 damage, and it doesn't cause a slight nodding, excuse me. It gives him Oki, though, which is pretty unique. And it pulls out the corner. So for characters like 21, doesn't really matter anymore. Characters like Baby, trying to think of another example. But yeah, characters like Baby, like Gotenks, like 21, you can actually use his super to pull him out the corner, so that's really strong utility. His level 3 has always been really good. Happy birthdays, gives him a mix-up. Unreactable command throw, that's armored, we all know this. We all know Broly stuff, right? So it makes his character bad. Bad in quotation marks. First and foremost, he can't really, for a game that's very like the meta in today's game is very lariat heavy. It's very like covering the screen with options that involve through a lot of stuff, and for him to be a zoner still kinda, it's really easy for characters to kind of just go through his zoning pattern, especially since they nerfed it. His recovery on his key blasts is so bad. Between them giving a lot of characters extra invo options, between them making movement just easier with the super jump macro, so people can just, you know, moon jump easier for the players who couldn't do it before. This character really lost his ability to control neutral the way that he has always been able to. And it's definitely the worst in this build, and you definitely feel it when you're playing against him or when you're playing as the character. It's much easier to get in on him. I would like to say that is actually the main thing, because this character still does a lot of really good things. That's actually why he's in C tier. He still does a lot of good things. His damage output's really good. His mix-up is good, risky but good. When his neutral can be broken if he gets Power Shell activated, because he just turns off all assists in a versus game, which is insane. But yeah, like he really struggles with safety is the main thing. Like neutral control, the way he used to be able to in safety. You always have to take risks with this character now, which is not a good thing, especially in Dragon Ball. In Dragon Ball, there's a lot of not interacting if you can help it. Tien. I actually think this character is pretty solid. I think the only thing holding this character back is really just neutral control. I understand it. The type of character he's meant to be, he's not really supposed to be able to control neutral insanely well due to just his support value and his mix-up. But yeah, I'm doing it a little bit backwards. That's the only thing I actually think is this character struggling with is neutral control. Like his normals are not really that good. You kind of have to you have to know in neutral to be right with him. Outside of that, this character is really good. Like maybe the only other thing I can nitpick with him is his assist value is not like top tier, because it's definitely not. I don't say his assists are bad. There's definitely worse. You definitely manage with his assists, but it is definitely not top tier assists. Outside of that, like his mix-up is insanely broken. He has a 2-0 low, and he has a move that puts him in the air with knee drop. He has a command throw. He has a cross-up, DR crushes, a instant overhead. Like this character's mix-up is insane. His damage output's off the charts. I don't have to say that. It's one of the most damaging characters in the game. And he has one of the most damaging DHCs in the game, which is really nice. So yeah, this character's mix-up is insane. His damage is insane. It's really just his neutral control and his assist value is why he's down here. And the role that he's played in is also important because those things are pretty important. Because he's typically played as an anchor. So he can rob you, but him against some of the better characters is rough. The next character is GT. Just like Tien, like we're kind of getting to the characters where I'm starting to say they're actually like really good now. And again, like we're still on the lower end of the list, but this game's power level is insanely high. So I mean, these characters are just good. But GT Goku, the strength of this character is his assist value is high. His A assist is okay. I'm one of the few players who actually experimented with the new version of his A assist, and while it's definitely worse than the original A assist, depending on your team comp, you can get away with it. His B assist, however, is one of the best assists in the game. I know this is a tier list, but fun fact, his B assist you cannot spark in the middle of it, so he's one of the only characters that if he's on your team can give you unsparkable mix-ups, which is the strongest mix-up in the game. The character's neutral is good, actually. Some people think it's bad now because, you know, his normals aren't insane, but I still think he has like the same, like, he can kind of just get in when he wants. He can like send it, and it's very hard for you to get in on this character, like still to this day. Like I said earlier with Broly, safety is one of the most important things, if not the most important thing in this game. Like very non-interactive, or when you do interact, it's like a safe approach, and he is one of the kings of that. Like this character is so safe. Safe specials, he can poke around, throw out disjointed normals. When you do need to get in, you have lariats and tracking moves to get in. You have a lot of air options. Like his neutral is really strong. So strong assist value, strong neutral. His mix-up is kind of where he starts struggling a little bit, but he has good mix-up with assists. Yeah, he's actually a good character. So why would he be down here? The only issue I can actually say with this character is his damage is on the lower end. You really have to be optimal about your routing to like get consistent 2 touches with him, and even then, sometimes he just can't. Which is a bad thing because in this game, as you're going to find out a little bit later, a lot of these characters kind of just 2-touch without trying. Outside of that, I would say it's his mix-up is the biggest thing outside of like it's good with assists, but they can guard cancel his mix-ups. So that's not the worst thing. He's good at draining their resources, but some characters don't have to go through that layer. Sometimes some characters can just take the Gester character and he cannot. So that'd be the only issue with the character. But really good character. So UI Goku. This character is, in my opinion, a lot better than people want to give him credit for. For some odd reason, people actually think he's like in the lowest tier in the game, and I think that is not the case. So why do I think this character is better than some people think? For one, he plays this version of Dragon Ball perfectly. There's characters who do it better than him, but there's some characters who don't play this version of Dragon Ball like at all. Like he has every tool you would want to like succeed in this version. You have a 4-frame reversal, you have a 1-frame reversal, you have strong defensive options, multiple 4 frames actually. You have unique counterplay to assist, which is important. You have neutral skips with lariats, full screen normals. He can be right, and when he's right, he gets in. Like if he reads your jump, he could just press 2S and then he's in. Level 2, really good assist. I think A assist is still a really underrated assist. People do not give that assist as much credit as it needs to get. He has a lot of good stuff going for him. The biggest issue of this character, however, is his damage output is just average. Like his damage output is just average, and his neutral control is just average. And average isn't bad, but average can feel bad when you're playing against characters who do things above average or better. Outside of that, though, this character is actually pretty solid. And he actually has really strong synergies with some of the best characters in the game, which is very important because we're playing a team game. The next character is 21. As much as I want to put her lower because this character is my favorite character in the game, they ruined her, in my humble opinion. I cannot put her that low because she actually has a lot of good stuff going for her. Still, she has some of the best neutral control in the game, which will always be nice. Her normals are still really good. Like, she does have the Kid Buu issue where ranges where she was not able to get challenged before, she can get challenged now, which really hurts her, but she can manage. She can definitely manage. She still has one of the best assists in the game with her A assist. One of the best level 1s in the game because it auto-corrects, which is nice. They did buff her level 3 so she could pick her steals, which actually buffs the character by a lot. She could do a lot of unique things. And that's kind of where this character, the goods end. I also say she has really strong mix-ups with assists. But outside of that, yeah, her biggest struggle is, again, her not having the level 3 Oki. Makes her very hard to justify putting her on a team, despite all the good things I just said she has. And her damage value, like her ability to two-touch you, is also very shaky, like with UI. Because she has to spend resources to get optimal things. Like, she either has to spend an assist or meter to get like a knockdown, and that's just not cutting it in today's society. So, yeah. She still is the best character in this tier IMO, though, so it's not a bad character at all. Alright, next tier is Cooler. We're kind of getting to the juice of it, so... Cooler. I actually want to put him higher, because I actually think, depending on the matchup, he's actually an S tier character. And what I mean by that is, there's a list. You can actually look. Mahaji is formerly a Dragon Ball player, found this out. If he does jump J2H, he'll hit you with a cross-up, which is basically unblockable. It's almost impossible to block it. But if you are one of those characters who does get crossed up J2H, he is legit like an S tier character, if not in the broke tier. Like, that's how drastically he changes. So, because of that, I actually think he's a counter pick character. I think due to how much his position changes on the tier list, you can legit like counter pick somebody. Like, if their character has like 2 or 3 out of 3 characters that get J2H, like, you can straight up pick Cooler, and the match is going to be very hard for them to win because you have one of the best mix-ups in the game. But yeah, this character has a lot of insane stuff. Like, his pressure is insane. Like, I do not know why they gave him -1 5H. It is one of the most broken things in the game. He can like jail plus frames, jail lows. Excuse me, frame trap plus frames. I think his overhead frame traps actually. He has some of the most and best defensive options in the game, like DP, air DPs, parry level 3, insane normals, like 6H, 2M, JM is insane. Like, this character's ability to control neutral in situations is top tier. Like, his neutral is top tier, IMO. His pressure is definitely top tier. His support value is like high tier. I think it's actually really good. He gives a DP assist and a level 3 mix up, and strong level 1s. I think the biggest issue of this character, however, is mix-ups. You have to play very specific teams to give this character strong mix-ups. If you are playing against a character that can get J2H, that's no longer the case, which is why he's an S tier character at that point. But without that, despite Fresh being really good, there's not really ever a threat of mix-up if the opponent knows how to OS his options properly. So, because of that, he is down here. Because it's hard for him to make use of all the good things he has. You have to really play a really strong neutral game and kind of really fish for getting hits in neutral with him to play him optimally, in my opinion. Lab coat. This is probably one of the most surprising things if somebody hasn't been keeping up with Dragon Ball for a while, because how is a character that got banned in B tier, let alone not the highest tier in the game? To answer your question, they nerfed the crap out of, like, this was one of the most insane nerfings of a character I've seen. To be honest, it's rightfully deserved. She had it coming, but she lost a lot of stuff. Like, her mediums don't gel anymore. She can reflect her spin. She still has only half her meter, which is the only character in the game that only builds half meter now. They definitely did other things too. I'm kind of drawing a blank right now. They did a lot of stuff to her. It's like so much I can't even like remember how much they nerfed from her. I think her stomp's no longer low. I could be wrong on that one. I definitely could be wrong on that. But despite all the nerfs she has, it's still lab coat. Like that's the best way to explain it. Like that is how she's still up here. Like she still has some of the most mix-up options in the game with the A-frame 2M, 2 different command throws, command overhead, point blank cross up. They even gave her a same side now, so she actually technically got buffed and nerfed. She definitely just got nerfed a lot more than buffed. There's not much to say as to why this character is still like strong though. It's still lab code. Like you do kind of have to play C assist, but she has a beam C assist, so it's not the end of the world. But yeah, she still has debuff. She's still a really strong character. Next character's hit. This character, in a different world, he could have been top tier. He is playing this version of the game so perfectly until he has to kill you. This character has one of the most insane assists in this game. It's auto-correcting DP assists, the happy birthdays. Strong level 3 because he has spark baits built into his level 3. Shotgun level 1. Full screen normals. Full screen, half screen moves. He could just invul a lot. He could spend basically the entire game invul. If he had infinite meter, like he could choose to be invul for however long he wants. Like god tier defensive options. The biggest issue with this character is really two things. One, he struggles to hit you if the opponent knows how to defend against him properly. Hit is one of the biggest knowledge check characters in this game, and if you do not know how to block hit properly, you are going to die. There's no way to sugarcoat that. He has some of the best mix-ups in the game if you do not know what you're doing. If you do have the experience against this character, though, you can make it very difficult for the opponent to hit you. And you can kind of force them to really start taking risks, which is what he has to do to hit you. Which is not a good thing. Again, come back to the whole safety thing. You do not want to take risks to hit your opponent if you do not have to. And this character does. That would not be the end of the world because he is a support character. So he has a lot of support things going for him. But the second issue is his damage output is very low off common hits. Like if this character hits you with like a vanish confirm or he like air to airs you, he cannot 2-touch you. Like there is certain situations where he can't even 3-touch you. Like if you really get hit by like a lot of unlucky starters, you won't even be able to 3-touch with this character. Like he has to just keep hitting you. And obviously that's an issue if you think back to the first thing I said, because if you know how to block against them properly and make it hard for the opponent to hit you, and when they do hit you, they don't get that high reward, then you can start to see why this character is lower on the tier list despite having the things of a Omega top tier. Fat Boo. This character is... I don't want to be an echo chamber and try to say he's underexplored, but I do think his neutral can be pushed pretty further than what it currently is. This character is basically the same as he's always been though. Just some of the strongest set play and advantage states in the game. Like one of the only two characters that have like just true restands. Really strong assist actually. He has an assist that also restands you now, which could be pretty unique. Level 3 mix up. Level 1 hits the entire screen. It can be used for safety HCs, assist punishment. Like his utility value is really high. Like he has utility, like pretty strong utility supers. Level 3 mix ups. His mix up on point is also pretty good. He does kind of need high block stun to get like the stronger options, but the fact that he can even choose to do that is also really good. Some of the like basically character one of the only true snap mixes in the game, which is he has a lot of good things going for him. Despite that, he's low because a few things. One, this character is really greedy. You have to really build a team around him properly to get him to work. Like he's always been that way, and that will always be a negative for any character because they just have less options to work with. And he's generally hard to play, which is actually a pretty big weakness. Like, his normals are also not good on the ground, so you have to be creative with how you approach this character, because his ability to approach is not really that good. His ability to keep you away is top tier. He's a very strong defensive character, but approaching is really rough. And because he's typically a mid that you switch in after you get the hit, if you lose the point war, having him on your team is going to be rough, because now you have a character that really struggles to approach, and you're losing, so you must approach. But if you do get the hit, then it's party time. Cell, one of my former mains, the character that I won multiple tournaments with. How are we doing? What does it say about Cell? I guess I have a little bit more to say on the characters I do know how to play, like, optimally. This character has insane pressure, extra normals, extra lows, -2 specials. His mix-up is insane. He could just 4-way you whenever he wants. Level 3 mix-ups, DP level 1, EX perfect attack, which is now a 9 from reversal, which is still a really strong defensive option. He has a lot going for him. His assist value is still, like, I think his assist value is, like, not top tier anymore because they nerfed C assists across the board, because that was definitely his best assist. I think his, like, assist value is, like, high tier now, which is not bad for the type of character he is. The issue with this character and why he's not Omega top tier like he was last patch is really just the perfect attack. Like, the character has always had issues. Even when he had the perfect attack, he still had some issues. In mainly neutral purposes. And perfect attack was just so overwhelmingly strong that it kind of made it not matter more often than not. But now that it is no longer a 4 from reversal, and you can't just choose to do it to just beat basically every situation almost. It really shows now, especially with some of these other characters just getting stronger in this most recent patch too. His ability to get in is really hard now, depending on the matchup, and that hurts. That definitely hurts. I also would like to add that they also changed his level 3 mix, so it's character specific now, which he might have an option. He might have a way he can do it on every character still, but you have to know the different setup for the different characters, which is actually a nerf, because that just requires more awareness and time to put into the character. You're just effectively making the character more difficult, which is never a good thing. Blue Goku. This character is insane. There's a world where he's A tier, but you have to play so optimally to the point where I don't even want to put him up there. But this character is insane. Really strong lariat, really strong air options, insane mix-ups. He has a unreactable command throw that just lets him two-touch you. Like, that is... It doesn't matter what game I play, every time I come back to this game and realize this character can do this, it is like one of the most insane things ever. He has so much good stuff going for him. Really strong mix-ups, level 5, strong supers, like sliding knockdown supers, strong assists that track you, anti-key blast stuff, so he counterplays key blast based characters, teleports, dive kicks. Like, yeah, he's jack of all trades, right? So why would he even be down here? One, he's hard. Like, he's actually really hard. That is not a good thing. That is not a good thing when characters are so easy. The stronger characters are so easy. And he's hard in basically every aspect. Like, you have to be you have to outplay your opponent. Like, if you want to win and you're picking this character, you have to be better. He has the tools to reward you for being better, but you have to be better. And that is not good when there's a lot of other characters who reward you more for not being better. His neutral is hard, and his combos are hard. So even when you do get the hit, you have to kind of lock in, because you can easily get reversaled if you drop your combo, and it happens to even the best Blue Goku players. So that will always be huge negative. Outside of that, though, this character is really, really strong. Team Gohan is a character that I think is a lot better than people actually give him credit for. This character literally has some of the highest reward in the entire game. It's like he's always been that way, and they kind of just moved him up. Like they made other characters do more damage, gain more meter. Like characters just hit harder, they get more reward for hitting you. And since Team Gohan has always usually been better than almost every character doing that, they readjusted his damage value so he can still do it. This character is building almost like 3 bars per combo. He's always hitting for 4k plus solo. He's basically doing routes that other characters would need assist or even 2 assists to do by himself, which means he's allowed to keep those resources, those assists in that bar for the post hit, which is really, really strong. And the reason why that is really, really strong is because this character basically has the best mix-up in the game. He is, I would like to say, one of the only, if not, I'm pretty sure the only character in the game that legit just has a 50-50 you cannot do anything about. There's nothing you can do about it. If you're in the corner and he has half a bar and an assist, you have to guess. It is insane. His EX Lariat will always give him a 50-50. You cannot guard cancel it. Technically, you cannot guard cancel Vanish it if the opponent is nasty. Really, really strong mix-up. Like, really, really strong mix-up. Like, almost no counterplay. This character has insanely strong mix-ups and really high reward for those mix-ups. Because of that, he is pretty up there. He also has some of the best support value in the game with a truly, like a fully invo DP assist. High damage level 1 that can be super dash cancelled, so it can be used for routings. And level 5. So, yeah. The thing that holding this character back, though, is the neutral. That is, you're going to notice a lot of these characters that aren't like super up there is usually like one or the other. It's either neutral or some form of their reward for like winning neutral, and that could either be mix up or damage. But in his case, it is definitely the neutral. He kind of gets bodied by the top tiers. There's no way to sugarcoat it. Even characters under him, he really struggles in neutral against. Like he really struggles against 21 in neutral. He really struggles against SSJ Vegeta. Like if the character can either play a really strong keep away game from the air, or just better than him at the ground game, you're going to have a rough time playing this character. And unfortunately for him, that is a lot of the characters in the game. The reason he's above some of the characters he loses to, though, like 21, is because 1, he's a mid-er point, so use him with assists. And 2, his mix-up and reward is just so high it justifies just playing him regardless. But yeah, this character is really, really strong. He also synergizes with one of the best characters in the game, which is Trunks IMO. So that's a huge plus. Alright, the character we've all been waiting for. Vegeta. My GOAT. My favorite character in this game. Let's talk about him. Similar to Blue Goku, there's a world where this character is A tier, but I think the level that you have to play at to actually play the A tier version of this character is so hard to the point where it's not really justifiable to put him in that tier when the other characters kind of just do it effortlessly. I think he was a lot stronger last patch, but this patch he's definitely a lot weaker. I'm gonna get over that in a second, but let's talk about what makes him good. So he has some of the highest support value in the game for a point character, and that is important because typically point characters do not have like insanely high support value. Like usually your point character typically has the worst support value, and he is not that case. Like his support value is like really, really high. He has a insane assist, like one of the best assists in the game. It covers the ground, and it anti-airs you, and it pierces you, and it keeps you in place, so it gives a lot of characters unique mix-ups, like Super Dash mix mid-screen. It can be used defensively. It is an insane assist, like top-tier assist. He has a top-tier level 1, calls the sliding knockdown, so he gets a safe jump, so you can retain pressure while switching through characters, and he can give other characters that Oki. His level 3 by itself is whatever. He has a level 4 to it, though. But when he's on point, his level 3 becomes one of the best level 3s in the game, because it not only does it do some of the most damage in 1920, which is like top 4, top 5 damaging level 3s in the game, it also gives him a 4-way mix-up and a 50-50 in the corner. So That is insane. You can actually also get the mix-up without being on point, but you need to use this level 4. Because of that, like his support is insane. Like super strong assist, sliding knockdown level 1, mix-up level 3, everything. This character ability to control neutral is insane if he has the right matchup. His ability to stop assist, to get in whenever he wants, to pressure you from afar, to kind of just play the game on your own terms is top tier. His mix-up is top tier. He has some of the most mix-ups in the game. Lariats, teleport moves. Like, he has a lot of freedom. The thing that actually makes this character just mid-tier, though, is a few things. He's playing one of the best... The best way I can put this is he's playing one of the best... Actually, no. He's playing the best version of Dragon Ball. But that's like 2019, 2020 Dragon Ball. Characters in today's meta are playing 2025 Dragon Ball, which is like they're playing DBFZ 2. He is not playing DBFZ 2. He is in the same vein as base Goku, where he didn't really change too much. Like, he still is kind of just playing the base game. He was just the best character in the game at playing the base game, so that's how we can still keep up all these years later. But things like no true anti-reflect, you have to call out reflect on your own, no easy way to be super dash, like you have to JL it. Everything you have to do with this character is deliberate. There's no freebies. Like, even Blue Goku, you can have freebies. Like that character can anti-reflect on his own, right? And stuff like that. Like with base Vegeta, you can't really do that. Like, you have to like hard call it out to anti-reflect. Your mid-range is really bad. His normals don't really go that far, so you have to be using like your special moves. Basically everything that makes a character super like strong in this version of the game, that's specific to this version of the game, he cannot do. Like the anti-reflex, the normals that go really far, the strong defensive options. Being able to just beat system mechanics easily without looking for them is what he cannot do. And again, his damage value is inconsistent. He's relying on assist to get 2 touches. At least with his mid-screen rounds. In the corner, he's pretty well off, but that is an issue that the top tier characters do not have. Piccolo, definitely one of the winners of the patch. This character, if I can just sum it up, he's basically one of the most unblockable characters in this game. We all know this. His assist is still top tier, and most importantly, this guy can restand you now, which is pretty scary considering active tag is in the game. So with the stronger synergies like Vegeta and Baby, you can do some really cheap stuff. You can even, like with Krillin, you can just straight up play Skullgirls. Like, you can restand them into a 3-way, like a true 3-way. So his advantage state is just so strong on hit that warrants him being up here. Like, his neutral is still subpar. It's definitely still subpar. Like, you're definitely still going to struggle in neutral. But that's just the type of character he is. His assist gives whoever you're playing him with some of the best neutral in the game. So that's a trade-off, right? And realistically, it's not that bad. You have some of the best neutral in the game with his assists and another character. You get the hit, bring him in, and then you use his advantage state. That's kind of always been his strategy, and he can run it pretty effectively in this build. Gotenks. This character should have definitely just been top 3, if not the best, but they nerfed the crap out of him. I forget the specifics on how much they nerfed, but I know they nerfed his double cancel, so he can't do like EX punches. He cannot. His EX punches are also not plus, which is insane, because it's definitely one or the other if you wanted to nerf that. But yeah, this character definitely took a huge blow. But with that being said, it was still a Omega top tier, so an Omega top tier getting nerfed, even if it's pretty bad nerfs, they're still going to be pretty decent. Like, so he still has a lot of things going for him. His damage output is still insane. Like, he hits you pretty hard for just solo routes. Like, it's still insane. Like, he's definitely, like, he can break almost 5k, like, off lights. And he's going to build, like, almost 3 bars. It might be a little bit less now, but I know it's still well above average. He still has Ghost Oki, so his on hit is still one of the strongest in the game. He has everything that was making this character, like, Gotenks before. It's really just his pressure got nuked pretty hard, which hurts a lot, but it is not the end of the world, because he is still a good character. I would also say his assist value took a pretty big hit. His assist value in his C assist, because that, in my opinion, was his best assist. With the overall C assist nerf, obviously that hurts him as well. Um, but yeah, it's still a pretty solid character. It's just you definitely have to be smart about how you go about playing the character now. More smart, I want to say. SSJ Goku. This might be surprising to see him this high. It might be surprised to see him better than other characters like Base Vegeta or like Gotenks, because if you told somebody this in like 2022, 2019, they would tell you you're out of your mind, right? So how is this the case? For one, this character nukes you. Like he does a lot of damage. He does not have the, if he hits you, he's gonna make it count. And more importantly, he hits you really hard off common starters. Like if he 2H's you, you're going to explode. If he hits you with a 2M, his whiff punish tool, his main neutral tool, you're going to explode. And you're going to get hit by his 2M because it is an insane button now. Like you have half screen normals. If you get hit by his Ki Blast, you are going to explode. Like he legit gets a full route and builds basically 2 bars off of a grounded Ki Blast, which he has so much consistency in his damage now, and that's really important. His assist value is really, really good. He has 3 really good assists. Level 2s, strong level 3s. Like they definitely did him justice. He is SSJ Goku. Everything that made this character feel strong in Season 2, he basically has, and then some. Okay, so on to Videl. What is there to say about this character? Still some of the most insane mix-ups in the game. Like her ability to mental stack you solo. I'd like to say she has the best solo mix-up in the game still. Now, however, she has some of the highest damage in the game because already they gave her a super that let her drain your meter, but now after doing it, that super does like 1300. I don't know why they gave her a level 1 that hits about as hard as, like, they gave her a level 1 that hits harder than some level 2s. It's like you're gonna die if she gets powered up. You're going to die. That is the best way to put it. Which is really nice because I mean she could just kill you off a lot of situations now. Like her being on the team makes your team a shotgun team. So really strong mix-ups, really strong damage, and her neutral isn't the worst. It's not the best, but it's definitely not the worst. For the level of mix-ups and damage this character has now, the neutral is definitely above average in comparison. 18. This character should be top tier. She definitely should be in the broken tier, if not S. The only reason why she is not there is because we are playing a fighting game, and characters' tiers, despite their strengths that the character may have, is very heavily determined by the matchups. More specifically, the matchups of the top tiers. Basically, if you do not play well into top tiers, you yourself are going to find yourself lower on the tier list, even if you have insanely strong tools. And there is no better way to show that than just to talk about 18, because last patch I was a very adamant believer she was at least top 5, top 7-ish character. Like she was a very consistent tournament winning character. Like she was a I'm trying to win pick. Now, due to her matchup spread being so much worse against basically every character in LOL, specifically like Baby, Vegito, and Trunks, you're always, if you're trying to win, you're going to find yourself playing against at least one of those 3 characters, if not all of them. And she cannot function at all in neutral against them. It's really rough. Despite that, this character is still broken. Really, really strong assists, but the most important thing is really just her advantage state. She's a cheater. She's allowed to do things that they should probably not have given to a character. Like she can shut down system mechanics, like shutting down raw tag, punishing assist calls in a game that does not have assist call punishes for the most part, which is really nice. She can basically stop up tech, back tech, delay tech, reflect. Like she covers every system mechanic by herself. Like this character does not really deal with system mechanics. You kind of just, if you know what you're doing, you beat basically every single system mechanic in the game without even trying, which is always the work of a top tier character. And she has a very annoying defensive playstyle, which is very good for multiple reasons. For one, it's really good at stopping impatient players, and even if the player is patient, She can very easily make you impatient due to how much she can slow the pace of the match down, and in tournament, that is super valuable. She's very consistent at letting you beat players that you shouldn't lose to due to how safe she is. Basically doing everything. So her being on the team also just gives you like basically advantage state off every situation, which is always the making of a top tier. Like I said, this character is top tier in every regard, but her matchup spread, and that's what makes her not top tier. Red Gogeta. This character, I don't know why they gave him infinite block strings, but they did. It's not really infinite block strings, but this character has a infinite 0 on block 2L. Like, you can just chain them together infinitely. Not infinitely, but like max up to like 5 before he has to actually stagger, and it's kind of insane since it's 0, so he kind of just choose when he wants to go in. They gave him double 6H, double Ki Blast. Like, they made this character pressure even better. And now you really, like, his ability to solo mix you is actually a lot better. I think before, you kind of really had to play him with the lockdown assist, but now you can get away with not playing with the lockdown assist, and you can find success. Like, I don't think you even need it anymore, due to them just giving him a second mix-up opportunity in his block strings, essentially, with the double 6Hs. So has level 3 mix, has a lot of good things going for him. So has the level 7, which, depending on your team, could just be a top-tier team, because, you know, you just get one shot off the first interaction, or second interaction at worst. The only thing that's not keeping this character higher is honestly just his synergies and his reward. I think him losing the lab coat assist was really important because that assist was just so good for him. It kind of just gave him everything he needed for an assist. And him not having it really sucks. You can't play on the lockdown C assist, which is the Wawa strategy, but they did nerf the C assist cooldown. It's still a good strategy. And still definitely can win tournaments, but it's definitely a bit weaker in that regard. Because your assist is up less often, your mix-up assist. And that's about it. I'd also point out that he still has 25% meter gain reduction, which stops his ability to two-touch off some starters that you feel like you should have been able to two-touch off of, which could be a really bad thing. Because you definitely just want to kill people in 2 hits in this game almost every time if you can help it. But yeah, still a really good character despite those things. 16. This character could easily just definitely be S tier. I think he's probably the most unexplored character in this build. That character is insane. The only bad thing about this character is his neutral control. Everything else is top tier. That is the best way to put it. His assists might not be top tier actually. Assists could just be high tier. I think his B assist is good, but depending on the matchup, it can kind of be useless sometimes. But outside of that, everything else is top tier. His pressure is insanely top tier. His buttons are top tier. Like, they go way too far. Mid-screen super dash mix, unreactable command throw. Like, he has every type of mix-up in the game put into one character. And then he also has plus on block specials. So, plus on reflect as well. So it's definitely a good luck moment. And to top it all off, he is top 3 strongest sparking characters in the entire game with a infinite block string. I'm not kidding. It's a literal infinite jailing block string. There's no gaps if he does not want there to be gaps. With a unreactable command throw that will also TOD you in that state. So realistically, if 16 and Spark ever makes you block, you lost that character. Like, at worst, you lost that character. So that could be really scary. S Broly. This is one of the biggest winners of this patch. This character is so stupid. Infinite meter. Literal infinite meter. This character starts building meter passively after he level 3s, which is insane because I'm pretty sure that level 3 already gave him a, I think it was 15% damage bonus. I don't think it was 20. I think it was 15. But he starts slowly building meter passively. And what that means is he's allowed to be meter positive off interactions that no other character can. Like, when I mean passively, even in the middle of his supers, they will start building meter. Like, in the middle of his level 3, the second his shirt comes off, he's already building some of the meter back that he spent on the level 3. Even post-vanish, even when he's in meter decay, he's still passively gaining meter. Which basically means his character's reward, already being like one of the most damaging characters in the game, is even higher because now he's building some of the most meter in the game. And to make that even better, his auto combo gives him a bar of meter, which gives him even more meter. So like there is times where this I've seen this character legit build 3 bars off of a Ki Blast Vanish. Do y'all know how insane that is? Like to get Ki Blast Vanished and for them to level 3 you off of a Vanish confirm is the most anti-Dragon Ball thing I've ever heard of. It is insane. Outside of that, this character legit has really strong, like his neutral control is good. I didn't realize how strong his neutral control was until I played against him a bit more in recent time. His JS is actually an insane button now. They definitely did that button justice. It's really, really strong. Truth to Success has always been good. Like his ability to just control neutral is insane. 2L is still one of the best lights in the game. Anti-reflect, good Ki Blast. His mix-up is really the only issue of this character. Like, his mix-up and stealing turns. His mix-up isn't the worst. You just have to mental stack them, which can be annoying. But your reward for properly doing it is some of the highest in the game. So that's your give and take. And his assists are super top tier. So it's really, really good character. Now we are into the what I would consider top tiers of the game. Like, straight on top tier. There's some characters in the bottom where I'm like, I can see where they could be argued to be top tier, like 16 or 18, but these are the Omega top tiers now. Blue Vegeta. This character is weaker than what he once was because they definitely nerfed him, but he still is insane. Despite not having the Omega guard point on the armored grab, still guard pointed, but you can now 2H him. This character is still basically doing everything. His damage output is like laughably high. Like I'm pretty sure he has the highest damage off like high-low, if not some of the high. He's easily top 3. Like he, and 70% of the damage he does to you is at the beginning of his combo. He just does M auto combo, the 2 big banes come out, and you're already missing 30%. It is insane. If this character hits with a medium starter, you are dead. If he hits you with a light, you're probably going to die. He can TOD you off a high-low from 0 bars. Like it is insane. This character's neutral is not the worst, actually. It's actually pretty good now. His neutral used to be the only thing really holding him back, but now it's pretty insane. Like he has a basically full screen lariat that also auto corrects, that also crosses up, that also whiff cancels into itself 3 times, that also gives him a mix up if he sees you block it, that can also TOD you. That's a lot of properties on one move. His other EX move is Ki Blast Invul. It is armored. It is an unblockable. It goes half screen. It could give him a mix-up. It could DR crush you. It does a lot of things. Moves that have a lot of things and just doing a lot of things at once is always a good sign of an Omega top tier character. He can 50-50 you anywhere he wants. So his mix-up is really, really strong. Very hard to counterplay. His damage output means he will always 2-touch you or 1-touch you, which is insane. His neutral control is really, really strong. You cannot, the way you have to play the game against his character is different. He shifts the rules of Dragon Ball on its head due to how strong the anti-air grab is. Level 5. The only thing holding this character back is his assist value is kind of bad. There's some players that make his assist work, and you can just simplify by playing something like C assist, but it's definitely unconventional assist for sure. Except for the C assist. I think the C assist is legit just good. Next character is Adult Gohan. This character is still as stupid as most people remember him. Pretty much unchanged for the most part. I would like to say he kind of got a buff and a nerf. A buff in the sense that now when he's in Sparking, he's just level 7 effectively. Like as long as he's in Sparking, he's in level 7, which makes his Sparking state a lot scarier actually. The reason that's a bit of a nerf, however, though, is every character is level 7 Adult Gohan in Sparks. So you win some, you lose some, right? Like it helps him out, but when everyone's super, no one's super. It's in that same vein. But yeah, this character is insane. At level 1, he becomes also this spot he's in is also what I feel like he's overall. I forgot to say that. This character is the only character in the game that legit, outside of Cooler, that legit changes on the tier list multiple times. Like I think like level 0 is somewhere in C tier. Then level 1 is A tier. I think level 3 adult Gohan is S tier. Level 5 is high S tier or in broke, and level 7 is in LOL. And I do not think he's even the best at level 7 anymore, which is insane to say. But yeah, this character is insane. As long as you get to level 3, you have an Omega top 2 character on your team. That is your goal. Goku Black. I'm actually very happy this character is good. I'm not gonna lie, I actually love this character, like design-wise. I've always had an issue with this character not having strong offense because it's literally Goku Black, but now he has what he needs. I always warned people what would happen if they gave him a 9-frame 2M, and they did, and this character is Omega top tier. He has everything you'd want. Really good assist, a beam assist, an anti-air assist. You get to pick whichever one you want for your team. Level 3 mix-up, one of the craziest level 3 mix-ups in the game. There's so many options, and there's a medium starter. His neutral control is off the charts. He is a weird case where if you can deal with his neutral control, it's pretty underwhelming actually. But if you cannot, then it feels like there's nothing you can do. Some of the highest mobility, like there's so much this character has. The fact that they gave him strong mix-ups though really completes this character, because now he kind of has everything, right? Strong assists, looping block strings, like he can just steal turns, like some of the best in the entire game. It is insane. He's one of the pseudo infinite block string characters. So he has strong neutral, strong movement, strong pressure, strong mix-up, strong assist, strong everything. This character is so insane. Zamasu, the character everyone loves to downplay for whatever reason, even though he invalidates a good majority of the cast. I'll never understand why they do it. Whatever. This character's broken. The only thing holding this character back is when he's losing, it gets rough to create a comeback. But every character has issues, right? So what makes his character so strong? One, his assist value is really high. He's one of the best C assists in the game. His A assist is also one of the best beam assists. Like, his assists are some of the best type of assists. He has one of the best beam likes, if not the best beam like in the game. Then he has one of the best C assists in the game, because it's a tracking and vol assist. His damage output is off the charts. We've all know this. It's not new. His mix-ups are very easy. He accesses mix-ups everywhere. But the thing that actually makes this character so strong is a few things. One, his advantage state is some of the best in the game. What I mean by that is, when this character does win neutral, he's going to mix you, because he has access to mix-ups that cannot be dealt with reliably. And when he does mix you, he's going to nuke you. And when he does nuke you, you're either going to die, or you're going to get put in Blades of Judgment, which, if the Zamasu player knows what they're doing, is another 50-50 that revives assist. So getting hit by him can actually make you lose the game. Like, the best way to put this is, even if it's from game start, like it's like round start fight, if you get hit by Zamasu once, I'm not even kidding, he's one of the only characters in the entire game that you might have just lost the entire game from getting hit once. And this game doesn't even have incoming. And the reason that is because he is effectively the best character in the game, or the second best character in the game, depending on how you look at it, at keeping a lead, because this character can literally just fly away once he's winning, and there's basically nothing you can do. The flight invalidates the strongest system mechanic in the game, which is Spark as well. So yeah, he invalidates the strongest system mechanic in the game. He has one of the most insane advantage states in the game, some of the best assists in the game. His neutral is weird because you either, it's one of those where, like, if you can deal with it, it's not too bad. If you cannot, it is literally unwinnable. Like, your character gets invalidated, put down the controller. So insanely strong assist. They also buffed flight a lot in the recent patch with the air level 1. He's one of the best users of the frame 4 level 1 change, because now he can just level 1 you for free. Frieza. This character is really, really strong. Like, really, really, really strong. He's definitely been all around the place in recent metas, but he's definitely on top, and looks like he's here to stay, because this character has a lot going for him. The only thing bad about him is his assist is whatever. They definitely buffed his C assist. It's kind of, it hits dumb high. So his C assist is actually pretty good, but they nerfed C assist overall, so it's a give and take. The reason this character is so strong, though, is because he effectively, especially if he has meter, he basically has the best neutral in the game. There's not really much you can do to stop him from just doing EX Pillar. Like if he wants everything to just stop, he just does EX pill, and if you're doing anything when he does that, you're going to get comboed. And that's really strong because he just calls an assist and he's in. He has like the death ball, which is a built-in assist essentially that stays on the screen. It stays on hit, which could be really nice and combo breaker you. They gave him extra defensive options with an air reversal. This character has like a lot of stuff going for him. The thing that really pushed him over the edge for me though personally is how strong they made install. Install basically go to Frieza lasts forever now. With multiple buffs they gave it over time. Like now the time resets every time he switches out, and I think the timer on Go to Frieza is like 30 seconds or 60 seconds. It's like a ludicrously long time to the point where there's not really a point of it even being a limit on it now, because it essentially is going to stay for the rest of the game or until he deactivates it himself. So in Golden, he is the most damaging character in the game. He will TOD you off literally everything. I've gotten TOD'd off basically every starter you can think of because of Golden. I'm pretty sure I've gotten TOD'd off a DR. I've gotten TOD'd off a Super Dash before. It is really, really strong. He has level 3 mix in that state. Golden Frieza is definitely a broke level character. If not, LOL. So it is insane. El Hermano, Jiren. This character is still broken. He's doing everything he did before. The only issue of this character now is the fact that the only nerf this character received realistically, the biggest nerf, is that he lost the strategy of his strongest team. Like, you can still play Jiren 17 because the characters are relatively unchanged, but for those of you who don't know, little lore facts, the reason they did the level 1 change universally is to nerf Jiren specifically. Jiren 17 can no longer just hand parry and just kind of solve the game into 17 assists, because now everyone can level 1 reversal him because it's a frame 4. That is actually the biggest nerf to this character IMO, because if that was not the case, nothing stopped you from just still playing Jiren 17 and just kind of solving the game. But yeah, this character still has insane like rule breaking defensive options, like 2S is a rule breaker, EX parry or all of his parries is hilarious defensive options, 9 frame 2M and he will explode you, high damage, high meter gain, 7 frame light eyes, so he actually can just super dash into light eyes and jail you to the ground. Almost nothing any character can do in the game about that, which almost no one does still. 2L is still one of the god normals of the game. His normals go really, really far. Like, this character still has almost everything, and that is why he's still S tier. Roshi. This might come as a surprise to some people, because why is Roshi this high? This character is like kind of doing everything. Where do I start? Assist value is really high. His beam assist is one of the best assists in the game, IMO. The only thing that's bad about it is a single hit, so it doesn't pierce, which means it can be countercaught pretty effectively. But that's kind of where the negatives end. It causes a wall bounce, so you can convert off it easily. It's extra block stun than most beams. I think it's like 34, 35. It's definitely more than the average beam. And because it's more than the average beam, you can actually set up fuzzies with your neutral assist, which is really strong, because that means your neutral assist is giving you primary mix-ups. Which basically means, in most team comps, if you were to build around his assist, you would have basically mix-ups as long as you have an assist everywhere, which is the makings of a top tier team. Outside of that, he has a level 2, really, really good, very high damage. It also pulls out the corner similar to Broly's, like Z Broly we talked about earlier, so it's good for setups. His level 3, he has a level 3 50-50 in the corner, so that is insane. Insane raw tag, that is very important. This character's neutral is like, the best way to describe how this character plays neutral is like, you're never going to catch me, and I'm going to jump scare you. When I do, you better have been blocking, because if you were not, I'm like taking 80. That's cap. Maybe not 80, but you're gonna die. And if you were blocking, he just steals a turn anyways. His mix-up is okay. It's definitely not game-breaking. You have to get a little creative with how you mix the character, but it's still good. Like, he still has a low. It's still really good. I would say the most insane thing about this character, however, is his defensive options. Outside of these support values, the support value is actually pretty high again. It's the defensive options. 2-2H is like, he's one of those characters where when you're fighting against him, you have to change the way you play. You cannot play Dragon Ball the same way you would typically play. Like, he turns the game on its head. And any character that does that will always be strong. Will always be strong. The next character is SSJ Vegeta. This character is insane. This is like, he might be in broke tier. Like, the only thing holding this character back is assist. That is it. Like, that is literally it. Everything else, he is in like omega top tier levels. Like, his neutral control is so insane. Like, it is so safe. He gets in when he wants. He gets out when he wants. You cannot stop him from doing it. You cannot chase him in the air. He'll half health you for that. He has light DP. And he can always light DP you. He can always light DP you, even when he's through his zoning. So you will die off that if you want to too. He literally has like top 3 best neutral control in the entire game. And to top it all off, he gets in when he wants. And when he gets in, he mixes because he has some of the strongest mix-ups in the game, especially in the corner. No counterplay to his mix-ups. And when he hits you with those mix-ups, that's backed by the really strong neutral, he nukes you. He has some of the best routing in the game. Some of the best solo routing in the game, especially now. Like, if this character hits you, he will always 2-touch you meter positive. It does not matter what you got hit with. Like, I think the only... Realistically, if you confirm properly with that character, there's not really any starter he will not 2-touch you off of that he has. I'm pretty sure, actually. Like, not even Ki Blast, because he just does EX Rocket Kick, and then you're getting 2-touch still, so... He has everything. Like, insane movement, DP, level 3 50-50, mid-screen and in the corner, insane mix-ups with no counterplay, insane neutral, insane damage value, like insane everything. The only thing he's really missing is the assist. His assist game is kind of sorry, but you can't have everything, right? Blue Gogeta. I am tired of this character being top tier. I'm gonna be honest, this character is only in broke tier because his strongest team in the game makes him this strong. Blue Gogeta without Yasha's team is not this strong. He's probably, honestly, like B to A tier. With Yasha's team, however, he is in broke. And because we are playing a versus game, characters are as strong as their strongest synergies. So that's why he's up here. This character is like, with that team, this character will still 2-touch you off a lot of the starters, and it's so easy. Like, he's still like one of the easiest tournament characters, which is why he's so good. Like, his normals are insane. His 2L is like, that light goes further than most mediums, and now it's 7 frames, which is, well, it doesn't go further than most mediums, but it goes further than some mediums, and it's 7 frames, so it is like an insane whiff punisher. Full screen normals, neutral skips, multiple neutral skips now. He has a Lariat that is also 50-50 from full screen that he can also frame trap from. Strong defensive options, strong 5L, like his mash game is really good, which is really nice. Everything's easy. His combos are pretty easy. They do good damage for how easy they are. His mix-ups are easy. His neutral steals are easy. Like, his damage is still insane. And then when you play it with Yasha team, again, everything just gets kind of put on steroids. So that's why he's still up here. Every other character in this tier, though, they kind of deserve to just be up here without a specific team. Next one is Beerus. This character is like, oh my god. I'm surprised I didn't put him higher. I could easily see a world where he's higher. This character has some of the most insane support value in the game. Like, his A assist is broken. Like, it is doing everything. It is one of those assists that just do everything. It's way too much mileage. His B assist is also really, really, really good. You just never see it because that's how insane his A assist is. Like, his B assist is a top tier assist. At worst, like high-end, high-tier assist. And it still never gets played because of how strong his A assist is. Level 2, his level 1 also gives you, depending on your team comp, safety HCs. His level 3 does 2,000 damage, for whatever reason. Also gives you a mix-up. So, like, this character, just him being on your team just makes your team so much better naturally. Like, you're going to kill people when he's on your team. And his tag-in game is insane because, for those who don't know, He's basically, in terms of damage value, like just killing you, he's the best character at using Spark. Like this, the way this character works is, if he hits you and he wants you to die and he has Spark, you're going to die. And I mean that quite literally. Like, even if you play him mid, and let's say you played a point character like Kefla, for example, right? And let's say you hit somebody in the corner with Kefla with a 5L from 0 bars. They died. They got 2D'd from a 5L from 0 bars. You just tag in Beerus at the very beginning of the route, Spark, and then just do the Beerus route. And even through Super Dash scaling, he will still kill you. Like, that is how insane it is. He will always, 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 always kill you if he spins Spark. And that is very strong because you can choose to just get rid of problem characters and you can target very effectively. Outside of that, he has some of the best solo mix-ups in the game. Technically the best solo mix-up in the game if you are a small character, because he just starts spamming 50-50s and there's not really much you can do about it. The RPS is very weighted in his favor. His neutral control is insane. His character is like, everything is insane. Like the worst thing about him is his normals can let him down at times because they're so small. But you really can't have everything, right? Krillin. I don't know why they did this to this character, but this is probably just the best support character in the game. Scratch that, he is just the best support character in the game. He's playing Dragon Ball perfectly. Like, his normals are good. Like, his 5M is insane. His 5H is insane. That's really all he needs. Insane anti-airs with Solar Flare. His reward might not be that high, but it's consistent, and you pick one or the other, right? Consistency or reward. Consistency is always... You never can go wrong with consistency. Mixed up is really, really good. He has a 7 frame low, so 2R low, so he can mix you. He can create, like, really strong high-low situations, like visual... skewered mix-ups with after image. His damage output is really high. Like, he will 2-touch you meter positive from 0 bars easily. And this is all insane qualities because he is a support character. He also has a frame 4 invul, which is one of the best frame 4 invuls because you can just choose to invul and do nothing. And being able to just invul and then have access to all of your options after the fact, including another invul if you want to do it again, is really, really strong in the hands of a good player. And with that all being said, let's talk about what actually makes him broken, because none of that is actually what makes him broken. It's his support value. In support value, it goes as his level 1 is one of the few level 1s in the game that you can actually use to kill opponents' assists with, because you can actually just keep throwing level 1s. If your opponent calls their assists and you have like meter to spin, let's say you have 4 bars, you can legit like half health their assists. So if they're not paying attention, let's say their assist is at half health, and they think they can just call it, because typically in Dragon Ball you can just choose to kill the assist, which could really throw somebody off guard. But yes, he has multiple supers, so his level 1, after the first level 1, it only takes him half a bar to keep using them. So he can really micromanage damage. Like, him being on the team can really fix your team's damage issues if it even had any. He has a level 3, his level 3 gives him a 50-50. Unseeable left-right with built-in spark bait that could potentially also give him high lows or 4-way depending on how you set it up. So really strong level 3. So again, really strong level 3, really strong level 1, and then the assist. Technically the best assist in the game, which is Krillin Rocks. I personally don't call it the best just because I'm just a 17A hater, but the assist is doing way too much. It's like the only thing the assist can't do is mix you, like, effectively. That is where it ends. It's defensively, like, 18 frame startup, so it's instant. It stays out on hit. It's like one of the only things in the game that does that. And the only thing in the game from that speed that does that. And most importantly, it heals you if you eat the Senzu Bean, and it gives you a bar of meter. So, I mean, it advances game state. It kind of, like base Goku, eat your heart out. Like, I don't know a better way to put it. Next character is Janemba. This character, I don't know why. I know I keep saying this, but this is actually like I don't know why they did this. This character is like the lamest character in existence. It's actually like, this character, if he's on your team, you basically say, I'm never going to interact with you, and I'm always playing red light, green light. And if at any point you thought it was green light and it was red light, I'm getting a combo. And I'm doing it safely. Like, even if I'm wrong, it doesn't matter. And that is really strong because, similar to 18 in tournament, that's really like that can just be really annoying. The difference between him and 18, however, is that his matchup spread against basically every character in the game, and especially the top tiers, is very good, which means he actually gets to use the things that make him top tier. On top of that, his assists are all just broken. They buffed all of them. They sped up his A assist. His B assist goes further, and his C assist they sped up, and his C assist is like a 20 frame or like 22 frame tracking lockdown. Imagine if Kid Buu A tracked you instantly. Like the second it was called, you instantly got hit by Kid Buu A. And it gave them a combo. And that is Janemba C. Insane assist. Level 3 mix as well. Strong utility. Level 1s that can like push into the corner. And also, he synergizes really well with one of the best characters in the game. We'll get to that later. So, insane character. Kefla. What is there to say about this character? She's just really consistent. Like, that is the best thing about this character. She's just like dumb consistent. Like, she's the most consistent character in the game. If you feel like you're better than your opponent and you feel like you don't want any chance of you losing, you pick Kefla. That is what she's there for. She has everything. She has insane pressure. Once this character makes you block, you can't scrub her out. Like you actually have to play clean against Kefla. You cannot scrub this character out. Like she can scrub you out, you cannot scrub her out, which is really strong. Which is really, really strong in today's meta. That's actually probably one of the best things you can ever get, honestly. Insane corner carry. The only issue of this character is that her mid-screen damage is subpar. And her mid-screen routing is definitely not that good. So she can sometimes have an issue with two-touching if you're not omega optimal about your hits. And despite me kind of preaching about how important it is for characters to always two-touch, her being this high on the tier list should just go to show you how insanely strong she is, despite that issue. Like, ignorant frame 4, she just does command dash, she's whiff canceling everything. Like, she is just do stuff the character. You just do stuff the character. You just do stuff, and it works. The opponent can't try to scrub you out. You can try to scrub them out, and you have really high reward for it. She also has one of the only true snap mix-ups in the game that also leads into a TOD. And it's loopable. So she can play Season 2. I actually have a video on that. If you scroll down my channel a little bit, you can actually see it. I'm pretty sure it's called Kefla Snap Guide or Kefla Snap. It makes something along those lines. So if you wanted to see that, then there you go. But yes, insanely broken character. 17. Okay, so I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This, in my opinion, this is the best assist in the game, and this is also the scrubbiest character in the game due to how his assist works. The second best support character in the game. He has, in my opinion, like he has like pretty good normals, strong solo mix, really high solo damage output without assists, really high meter gain. Like he basically builds 3 bars in a combo every time if you're really optimal about it. He has like pseudo infinite block strings because he can just use EX Power Blitz and just be plus twice in one string, and then use his assist to get 2 more, and then still 2 more turns, and use assist to get 2 more, and then you get the point. They kind of gave him the cell thing as well, which is really strong. For those who don't know, his EX, his back Rekka, I believe is frame 1 projectile invincible, and frame 4 fully invincible. So he basically has the move that stacks multiple invos on top of each other. So basically old EX perfect attack. It doesn't medium start you though, but it's still going to be very annoying on defense to like try to deal with it. He's level 3 mix-ups, high damage level 1s. His level 3 mix-up is basically just old cell level 3 mix-up. They just gave him exactly the same thing. It's like a left-right with a built-in spark bait that medium starters you. Which is insane because he's a support character, so why is he just doing that much? Like, anytime a support character is just being better than the majority of points in the game, they're going to be one of the best characters in the game. But yeah, the real icing on the cake is his A assist is the biggest rule breaker in the entire game. That is the most anti-fighting game assist I've ever seen in my life. And that is me being salty and also speaking the truth at the same time. That assist is like, you do not have to look for anything. You can even like, You don't even have to try to mix somebody. They're going to get mixed by the assist for you, essentially. It covers every system mechanic by itself. It lets you be wrong in neutral. It even lets you super dash at them, and if they're willing to 2H you, or if they're ready to 2H you, rather, you can call the assist to eat the 2H and punish them. So, yeah, it can let you do a lot. What a character. Now we're getting into our top 5. It took a while to get here, but we're here. Ginyu. The only argument I can see for this character not being top 5 is if you want to say the glitch that he currently has is preventing him from being top 5, which would be a very fair argument. And if you were to use that, then I can see that. But if that is not the case. This character is like, oh my god. Built-in combo breakers, so he can oopsie moment you. The highest damage output in the entire game. The highest. No contest. The highest. So those oopsie moments could lead to you just dying one way or another. The other way you can die is his other win condition, body swap. He can basically just give you a useless character. And he can now, for, kid you not, an extra half a bar. If he has 3.5 bars, he can do the alternate input to body swap, which will damage Ginyu's to 65% true health, unrecoverable health, and then switch. So he can also just make sure the Ginyu that you do get is one touch for just half a bar, which is insane. Some of the strongest set play in the game, he will always get his turn. Infinite block strings, actually, he can actually loop Ginyu Force members into himself. So he can like start using his assists, like negative edge the Ginyu Force member and then release it, summon the next one, negative edge it, block string, release it, so on and so forth for infinite block strings, with the threat of a high-low in part of the rotation that will also TOD you if you get hit by it. It's like, this character's damage is the best, his set play is one of the best, his win condition is one of the best, his neutral is some of the best, his assist is one of the best assists in the game. The assist is like, it's doing everything. It's 2 assists in 1. That also can combo breaker you because it stays on hit. That also builds you meter, so it gives you just more meter to like kill. This character is insane. Like there's not really much else to say about this character. He's hard and he's weird, so you really don't see him too often, but he's kind of just doing everything. The next character is Nappa. This character could have easily been an LOL tier. I just think he's not in there because his matchup spread is garbage against some of the other top tiers who are above him. But if you want to say that's not grounds to put him lower than them, and he is one of the best characters in the game, then, or he's obviously one of the best characters in the game, if he is in the highest tier of the game, then by all means, I would not be mad at anyone for putting him that high. The two important things to know about this character is, one, his assist value is really strong. A assist is one of the best mix-up assists in the game because it calls an explosion. You can barely see anything, which lets you get invisible mix-ups. Also single hit high block stun, which allows for fuzzies, so you can do invisible fuzzies. Good luck. B assist is also a armored assist that also, it's a guard point assist, so it can actually even beat guard cancel vanish. So it actually gives you, it can give certain characters true mix-ups that they would not have otherwise. And the assist hits twice, so it gives you unique extensions. So you can get like, you can do like 2 like double assist extensions in one. Like combos you would need 2 assists to do, you can just do it with his assist because it hits twice. So that's also really, really good. The main thing, however, is this character has the best advantage state in the entire game. And the best way to put this is, the better you get and the higher level you get at just any game, the stronger advantage state becomes. Because when you're at the highest level, getting the hit against another world-class player is really difficult. So for a character to be able to hit you once and then effectively kind of just guarantee the character is going to die, or if not like in a really bad spot, is very rare. Especially with this game being designed the way it is. To understand why this character is so strong, you have to understand what makes, like, the system mechanics that make up this game, right? This game is balanced very heavily around not being that strong. And you have delay tech, you have up tech, you have delay from 30 different frame delays, you have get up reflect, get up reversal, back tech. There's so many different options you can do. He deals with none of them. He legit hits you once, you get restood into a three-way mix-up, you die. He will always kill you off the reset. He will always kill you. I actually had a Nappa at a point in time, so I can actually test this. He will always kill you off the reset. If they are optimal, he will kill you meter positive. So him being able to just always effectively kill you, which means in a perfect world, if you are super optimized and Nappa is on your team, the way the game works is if they hit you and Nappa, if either Nappa himself hits you or any other character hits you and the Nappa assist was available, you are in guess your character. It does not matter how you got hit. It does not matter where you got hit. It does not matter how much meter you were at or they were at when you got hit. You are getting restood and you are going to die. It is hard to play him that way, but that is what he's allowed to do. EX Cyberman is also the best move in the game, so that is also the other reason. You plant a character, you plant EX Cyberman, which is effectively better than like 70% of this cast, I'm not going to lie to you. EX Cyberman is like low-key, lowest of keys better than the entire A tier and under. And if you get hit by EX Cyberman, which is also immune to the entire game, immune to everything, it auto-combos into itself, into a reset, and then you die. So, yeah, the best advantage state in the entire game. Now, we are in the best characters in the game. This is my official top 3 characters. I am a firm believer. I think everything else, I think is a little arguable. I think like somebody were to argue some characters in S should be in broke, or some characters in A could be in S, or even the positions of S are like, you know, flip-flopped, because I did try to order this the best if I possibly could. I am not up to debate on the strongest tiers in the game, like LOL. These are the three strongest characters in the game. Let's start with the third strongest character in the game, Trunks. Trunks is the only one that is a little shaky, because I do think he's a little underexplored in terms of how you can go about playing him optimally. Not necessarily combos, neutral, and just the way this character should be played. With that being said, this character is like literally one of the most insane things I've ever seen in my life. Where do we even begin? And since we are in the top 3, I'm going to go down the rabbit hole and talk about everything that makes these characters the strongest, because this is what people want to see, right? The strongest in Dragon Ball. First things first, let's talk about his mix-up. This character can 50-50 you everywhere on the screen, as long as he has an assist. Mid-screen, button, into assist, EX flip, 50-50'd. In the corner, auto combo pull you out the corner, EX flip, 50-50'd. So he always has access to a guess, no matter where you're at, and if he puts in a block string, which is incredibly strong. Even solo, without an assist, he can still threaten you with a unreactable left-right mid-screen. Like, you can react to his cross-up, but you cannot react to his same side, which is jump forward, medium flip. I think it's medium flip, the one that puts him backwards into JL. And because you cannot react to the same side, you effectively have to guess between the two. You can 2H both options, but he has something to condition you to stop that with his overhead, his special move, his command overhead, his special move. It's not a command overhead, excuse me. It's just the EX sliding slash. That move is like, it is un-2Hable, and it is a 20 frame DR crush. It is so insanely fast that the OSs that you can typically do against most DR crushes in the game, you cannot do to it. So not only can you not OS it the same way that you can other DR crushes, which inherently just makes it a better DR crush, it's literally faster, which makes it better. It's a fucking overhead, which is insane. And it's safe on block, which is -5. And it literally half healths you. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, if you get hit by that, you lose like, I think it's like 42% solo. That's like no assist, and he still gets a sliding knockdown. Like, it is, you will get 2-touched by the overhead, and overhead is like, it is so fast, does so much damage, it's so safe, and it's so hard to deal with. It is legit one of the hardest things to block in the game, to the point where people actually stand up and guess as if it was completely unreactable, which is not. The other mix-ups he has access to is his level 3. His level 3 is essentially Raging Demon. It's like Walmart Raging Demon. It's not unreactable, but good luck. Like it is such a good luck moment. It is so like it happens so fast. If you were to put me in a recording and having to deal with the level 3 versus the overhead, I might as well fill out the McDonald's job application. Like it's not happening. It is impossible. And it's scary too because his level 3 also does some of the most unscaled damage in the entire game. If you get by his level 3 raw, it's one of the most damaging raw level 3s in the game, which I'm pretty sure they did that on purpose. To turn into a mix-up on purpose, at least. So his ability to solo mix is insanely high. His neutral control is like insane. He has the most ignorant air options in the game because technically he can just choose to just be wherever he wants on the screen at any point in time, which is unique only to him. It is high skill ceiling and is not easy to do, but if mastered, he's allowed to maneuver out of situations and create situations that no other character can do. His normals are insane, like JH and 5H is insane. He has a true full screen normal in 3M. He legit just full screen lows you. More than full screen, because even if you backdash, it's still hitting you. So you can't even pull the screen back. There's these characters. He has a level 2. Level 2 gives him sliding knockdown. Safe on block as well. And the most important thing about this character, outside of his support value, because it's also really high, is his 5S. The 5S is the best normal in the game, technically. Because it is 8-frame startup. And because it is 8-frame startup, and it has instant travel time, essentially. It's like 8-frame startup, and then 15 frames full screen. He is the best Punisher in the entire game. Like, the best. His punish game is so unique to the point where it's like breaking rules. Things that you would typically do with other characters that you didn't even know was possible to get punished, you can get punished. I'll give you a few examples. If Trunks reflects you and you do not cancel into anything, you get punished. Like even if you do like 5M and then stop, which would typically be what you should do in that situation. That's the good player thing to do, is to recognize when you got reflected and stopped. His 5S will still punish you, and he gets a full combo off it by doing 5S beam. If you ever punish you with his 5S, he instantly converts it to a full combo anywhere on the screen, and it always sets up to 2-touch. Or he can just spin spark and TOD you off 5S, which he can actually do from 0. I don't think it's from 0 bars. I think he needs a little bit of meter, but he can TOD from it as well if he wants to dead. Let's say you 6M him and he reflects your 6M. You got punished. 5S punishes that. His 5S catches every option around start. You have to deal with it. You cannot not interact with it. Like I'm pretty sure that's the only round start in the game that you legit have to interact with no matter what you do. And it's in his favor. Like it is insane. Like people do not understand. Like this character can whiff punish lights from full screen. Like it's like it is so insanely strong that even after I stress it this much, I really do not think people will understand how insane it is. What a character. Okay, on to the second best character in the game, Vegito. Surprise, surprise, he's not number 1, right? We'll get to that in a little bit, but to be honest, there's not much to say about this character, but like I said, his top 3, so we're going to go in depth. He is a character that essentially has everything, and the only issues that he did have, the very few ones that was present, they essentially completely removed in the retail version of this game. The only issues this character had, for the most part, was inconsistent damage, like his mix-ups. If the opponent was smart, they can choose what they got hit by to like lower his reward as much as possible, basically getting hit by like same size sword and stuff, so he gets like what 30% and that's it. But now with the addition of JSJH chains and super dash cancels off his Banshee blast, he also an EX command throw giving him an extension. This character is actually one of the highest damage characters in the game now, off like important starters. Like if he 2H's you mid screen, you're losing like 60. That is insanely high for the type of character he is. So despite him having a 25% meter gain reduction, he still has like some of the best routing in the game. Sometimes he actually will struggle to 2-touch you, even with that being the case, because he just won't build the second bar that he needs. but the position you play him in, he usually has meter to spare in his best teams that you usually see him on, which is like 17. Usually has a battery on it, so that's not the worst case scenario. And even if that wasn't the case, like, the strengths of the characters is just so much to the point where it's kind of negligible. And set strengths are him having the best neutral in the game. That is why he's up here. He has the best neutral control in the game, and it's like it's to a ridiculous level. Like, there's essentially almost no character in the game that can actually beat him in the matchup. I'm actually looking at it right now, and I don't think a single character in the game beats him in the matchup. Like, just wins. There's characters who you can maybe argue go even. I disagree. I think he legit has a win, even if it's slight advantageous against everyone in the game. But it is insane. Banshee Blast has still always been one of the best neutrals in the game, and now he has Super Dash Cancel. He cancels it so early, though, to the point where even if you block the Banshee Blast, you cannot 2H him. Like, even if you're ready to 2H it, you must reflect it. Like, that is how fast he cancels into the Super Dash, even if he's full screen. That is insane. 6S is the second best normal in the game behind Trunks' 5S. It is a tracking hit scan. It is a tracking hit scan 14 frame TOD starter, potential TOD starter. It is insane. 6S, one of the most insane normals in the game, is a full screen projectile anti-air they can chain into other buttons. It also calls a cinematic, so it's easy to confirm off of. 5M still one of the god normals of the game. It's everything. Like, 6S is too much, 5M is too much, 6S is too much. Between 6S, Banshee Blast, his 5M, and EX Air Throw, you cannot approach this character ever. Like, he makes the ground game literally impossible, because if he's in the air, he dominates the ground game by spamming plus and block projectiles that he can get in from. Like, he would win neutral from it, so you cannot let him do that. But you can't challenge him in the air because he has some of the best air buttons in the game, some of the best challenge air special moves in the game. You're not going to win. He has an anti-air throw. But if he's on the ground, you can't approach him on the ground because he has and I will say it again, a tracking hit scan 14 frame TOD starter that tracks full screen. And you can't approach him while you're in the air and he's on the ground, because his ability to catch you're landing with 5M and 6S is literally some of the best in the game, and he has an anti-air throw. Like, there is, at no point in the game can you actually approach this character if the Vegito player has like even half of an idea what you're going to do. And with that being said, usually the typical game plan that you would use against Vegito is being okay with the fact that he wins all these situations and just block it out, but cannot do that anymore because his ward is so high off his mix-up. So, like, he's basically the same character he's always been. This is just the strongest version we've ever seen because he has extra tools that lets him do what he was doing even better than before, which is insane because what he was doing before almost killed the game with how strong it was. Like, Prime Vegito A meta, that got a little much. Everyone picked him. And he's doing even more now. Now we have the best character in the game. It took me a while to think about this. I actually put a lot of thought into this top 3. Because at some point in time, I've had each of these characters as the best in the game. And the more I explored them and like learned like what they can do, their matchup spread against the meta, how the meta is developing, like their synergies with other characters, the more it changed. And this is where I'm finally landing on, and it's Baby being the best. And the more I experiment with the Baby, I don't think it's close. That might sound weird. Like, when I say I don't think it's close, I don't think it's a landslide, so he's not in a tier of his own, but I think he's pretty clearly the best character in the game. And where do we start? Oh my god, this character has everything. Okay, so to start it off, this character has the most consistent reward in the game. By consistent, I mean it's not even hard to do his routes either. If he hits you, he is going to put you in the corner. He is going to hit you for over 4k, and he is going to build at least 2.5 bars every single time. Like, It is very, very consistent. And because of this character will always meter touch you like positive. Like a lot of characters do that, but his meter touch, his two touch meter positive is different from other characters. It's other characters will have 1 if they're like really lucky. They'll have 2 bars left over. He would have 3 to 4 bars left over. Like that is absurd. He literally has infinite block strings. Like I kind of know I danced around that idea of characters having like pseudo infinite block strings. He literally has infinite block strings. Like the way it works is the only way out is to either react to a 20 frame move that he can do at any point in the string, which is good luck. And if you are a frame off on your reaction, you get guard cancel reflect into TOD'd no matter where you are. Well, I guess if you're mid screen you won't die, but yeah, you're gonna get TOD'd. Just assume your character's dead if you're even a frame off, so I wouldn't recommend that. And if you don't do that, then you can also reflect at the end of the string he loops, but he can anti-reflect you, like triple, quadruple anti-reflect that loops back into itself. And he can also bait the reflect at that point and you also get TOD'd. So it is really not in your favor to ever interact with this character because he was just anti-reflecting and he will TOD you if you're wrong, and if you're right, you go back to neutral. It's like, is that really worth it? And because he has infinite block strings, and I mean literal infinite block, like I have block string people for over 60 seconds before with this character, like solo. Like that is, you're going to be there for a while. And because he has infinite block strings, and because he has a 9 frame low, he can basically 3-way you anywhere at any time as well. Like his mix-up game is literally some of the most insane thing in the game. Like it's not pure high-lows like Team Gohan or Base Vegeta would. It requires a little bit of setup, but the setup is just him doing his block string. And the setup leads into basically the most dangerous mix-up possible, which is a 3-way with the threat of a DR as well. And he can do it anywhere. Even if you're in the corner, he's threatening a 3-way because the options he can do can pull you out the corner. So you're always in risk of just dying. So he has infinite block strings that will TOD you for interacting with it, but choosing not to interact, which is usually the best thing to do because you're going to get TOD'd if you do interact. Like if you don't interact with it though, he 3-ways you like a true 3-way guess, like Kid Buu style, into losing 4k into 2.5 bars. And then after he does that, he will level 3 you, and his level 3 is Old Majin 21 level 3. It requires you to be mid-screen, but it is a left-right, and you're gonna die. Like if you get hit by his level 3 mix, you're gonna die. It's DHCable too, so he has DHC level 3, so his support value is insanely high. He literally has like top 3, top 5 best support value in the entire game. I mean, it's baby, right? He's kind of, that was his original purpose when they created this character, so it's not too much of a surprise there. But DHCable level 3 mix that also happy birthdays you. It will always kill you if you get hit by it. He does not have the issue of 21. Like if he hits you with that, he's going to kill you. Like even I remember even I lab Janemba, and you can like do Janemba command throw, level 1 that pulls out the corner, baby level 3, and he will 2-touch you from a command throw, like a super scale command. Like you will always die. Like always die. His level 1 is like base Vegeta, so it does 780, causes sliding knockdown. It is a safe super. You can DHC into it. He recovers in the air almost instantly. No landing recovery. Happy birthdays. Jumps over other supers. So one of the best level 1s in the game. One of the best level 3s in the game. The best block strings in the game. The best reward in the game in terms of consistency. Some of the best mix-up in the entire game. Arguably the best neutral in the game, depending on the situation. Like Vegito neutral is really strong, and I think it's better than Baby in most cases, but depending on what happens in the game, Baby instantly becomes better even in neutral. And what I'm talking about is when he kills a character, because when he kills a character, he can steal your assists, and since they buff a lot of C assists in the recent patch, they just indirectly just buff Baby even more because of it, because he just steals those C assists. When Baby kills a character, he becomes the undisputed best character in this game. I'm inclined to say he might be the best character this game has ever seen. He's second. I think Prime Labco is still stronger than him. That is the only character though. Like it doesn't matter what season we're in. The second, arguably the strongest character the game has ever seen once he kills a character. Depending on who he kills, I actually think he might be better than Prime Lab. Like if he killed a lockdown CSS character, like if he killed 17 and he has that CSS, he might actually be like even with Prime Lab. Like that is how insanely strong that character is. Because he just starts true stringing 3-ways. Like you get true string 3-ways, true string 50/50s off each interaction. You're getting true string 3-way from neutral. There's nothing you can do. He's the best initiator in the game as well. So that's why sales like him and Nappa is so game breaking, because you have the best initiator in the game, which basically means if Baby gets a hit, you can always tag into any characters you want best state, which is like they just got a hit. Like I hit you with a 5S with Baby, and let's say I have like Zamasu on my team, I can use Baby's insane neutral and all the good stuff and hit you, and then be like, I don't want Baby's Oki, I want an even stronger Oki, I want Zamasu. And then do 6H, tag in Zamasu, get the corner for free, do the full route into that setup. Kill the character with the reset, switch back in Baby, and now you're fighting a 4v2. Because you now have the dead assist call. Dead assist call can also be negative edged, so you have unique stuff like that. Like there's 6S goes through 6S projectile invo. It's level 2 key blast durability, so it destroys most neutral structures. It's like I can go on and on about what this character has and still not be done. I'm still missing a lot of the really important stuff. I feel like that can make this character strong. Like he has an anti-air throw. He has a built-in tick throw now. A reactable and unreactable one. Like he has beam super dash. He can hit like 5 beams in one combo. This character, like everything you could possibly want in a character he has. The only thing this character struggles in is his assist value, because his assists are all weird in some way, shape, or form. But like that doesn't matter if half the time you're playing this character you won't even need to use his assist, because they'll never get him off point. Like the game will just end with him not receiving any damage, because there's nothing the opponent can do. Like it is so insane how strong that character is. And that is why I believe he is the undisputed best character in this game. That might change far off in the future. Maybe something's discovered with other characters that does not make him the best. I really don't see that happening. I actually feel like the longer people have time to play on this patch, the more they'll actually see how much better he is than the other characters. And I say that very loosely, because the other characters in LOL, which is Vegito and Trunks, are like definitely up there too. Like they're in that same tier too. He's just almost in a tier of his own. But yeah, that is my final tier list for you guys for Dragon Ball FighterZ. For real. The only way I think I'd ever make another tier list is if they release another patch, which, like I said, I don't think they'll ever do. I should have said this at the beginning of the video, but I also think this is the last patch. And I want you guys to remember that all these characters are good. Like, they're all playable. If you really want to play Kid Buu and you feel like you cannot, pick Baby with him. I promise you Kid Buu will feel like at least like a mid-tier at worst. And this is ordered to the best of my ability. I tried to put a little extra time in ordering stuff and thinking about stuff, because it is the final tier list, but you know, there you guys go. Like always, if you guys like this type of content, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'm gonna catch you guys in the next video. Peace.